I am Vig with Local Rings Podcast, and I'm here with Donovan Rosé. We're at Anchor Pro Wrestling, just having a quick talk. So, first question I always ask is, what brought you into wrestling?
I mean, I can keep it simple. I can go very elaborate with it. I'll go on the elaborate side. I'm feeling special today. By the way, nice meeting you. Personally, what got me into wrestling was I was just, doing kid things around the age of 5 or 6. And eventually I stumbled across a match that my uncle and my brother were trying to get me into on SmackDown with Jeff Hardy. And after that, I was just locked in.
All right. Like a love at first sight type thing?
Honestly, yeah. And sorry, it wasn't Jeff Hardy. It was Rey Mysterio, actually. It was a match between him and Edge in, I want to say, 2008. And after sitting and just kind of getting into it, I was like, oh, it's okay. But then the next week on SmackDown, I did it again. Then the week after, I did it again. Then eventually, I was the one waiting on the couch, waiting for my brother and uncle so we can watch wrestling.
It's been a common theme from everyone I've talked to. Like, it's a love at first sight thing for everyone doing it, at least, if not the fans as well. But it's almost always clicking channels and find it and got hooked, or a family member said, like, this is your addiction now.
I don't think they understood what they were getting me into.
So how did you go from I like this to I want to do this?
So I went to WrestleMania 28 in Miami. I saw Rock and Cena, and at that time Cena was like my absolute favorite. And seeing him lose in the main event had me literally in tears. And when I got home and I had the chance to, kind of go through my emotions, be like, Cena lost, but he's still John Cena. That was kind of the moment for me personally where I was like, damn, I really want to do this for the rest of my life. Not a doubt in my mind. Because if he can make me feel like that just by being a good wrestler, by having a connection with the fans, I want to be able to do that for someone else.
It's underlooked by people. You either love it or you don't understand it, I feel like. It's the moments that you connect with somebody and you go through those actual emotions. Like, you feel it when your person loses. It's like somebody gut checked you. Or when they get screwed out of a title or screwed out of a match, or
as a LA Knight fan right now, yeah. I've seen this man lose the last 3 Money in the Banks in a row, and it's devastating.
He's fighting TKO more than anybody else.
Literally fighting the bosses.
I'm begging them to do the old Austin angle where he just goes nuts on management, and
imagine
the fans love him. We're dying for him to win something, and they keep just dangling it.
Yeah, imagine him hitting Triple H or HBK with a BFT or something, and just being like, I'm taking over now.
Or get Nick Khan.
Yes, hit Nick Khan.
I don't understand what they're doing with him, but it's out of my pay grade, unfortunately.
Yeah, me too. I get that.
So, how did you find your school when you decided you wanted to do this?
So, some stuff went down in 2022. I unfortunately lost my dad, and one of the things that we had sat down and discussed a lot was what I wanted to do in the future. And so, before his passing, I kind of settled into the idea of just going to an amateur wrestling, amateur wrestling college. I think I was looking at some school in New York. And then after he passed, me and my mom sat down and had a talk, and I had time to reflect on everything I wanted to do. One of the things he pushed among me the most were, hey, whatever you want to do, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything that you want to. And so I'd always eventually wanted to be a wrestler, but I was going to take a slightly different route. But just searching through Google, finding schools, I ended up coming across the fucking conservatory for Dory Funk Jr. And I had the opportunity to train with him for a year, and it was incredible. Dory is genuinely one of the sweetest men I've ever met in my entire life. Some of my lifelong best friends, Jake Powers or Brace Allen, I've met them there. And so, yeah, just going across Google, and I found something that fits me the most.
That's wild. So was that in Florida, or was that?
Yeah, it's in Ocala.
All right. So I got to ask about the eye.
So I was
trying to find a nice way to bring it up, and it's I just got to come out with it.
Okay, so I'll tell you right now. So I had a match last year for Brick City Entertainment in Ocala, and I was in a triple threat with Frankie Burbank, cool guy, and Jake Powers. I hate him. The thing with Jake Powers specifically is that his ego is so high above everyone else's, and he feels like he can do whatever he wants. So what he did after he won the Great American Championship was he stomped my head into a title, which led to this. And I've been stuck like this since then, and honestly, it's very frustrating to deal with.
I can imagine. It's got to mess with the peripherals.
Yeah, every single time I'm fighting someone, they'll just go to my left, and I can't see them anymore.
So have you got revenge for this yet?
No. I'm trying. I have fought Jake Flowers in pretty much any places. But unfortunately, even like the NWA seminar last night, they had me team with him. I'm supposed to team with my arch nemesis. It's like Batman teaming with the Joker. It's ridiculous.
So can I ask about the NWA? I saw they were recruiting yesterday.
The NWA seminar was genuinely a very incredible experience. I got to talk to so many people, especially shout out.
Can I possibly move these people this way because I need to get this cool?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with the NWA seminar yesterday, great experience. I had a chance to meet and talk to like some crazy people. Like for me, in my head, I was like, this is Aaron Stevens, cool guy. But like, I used to watch Damian Sandow, be a super big fan of his when I was like 10. So like having that experience to just like sit down and just have a conversation with him about wrestling was mind blowing. Having that, Trevor Murdoch was a great help. Talking to Tom Latimer was insane, and even like I had a little chat with Billy Corgan. So like seeing all those people like in front of me was cool. And now it's safe to say that eventually the NWA is something that the devilish kid Donovan Rosé will be interested in.
All right. I was actually planning on doing the NWA today, but I got invited here, so I'm here.
We appreciate you. Listen, Anchor Pro being chosen over the NWA, we really appreciate you for that. We really, really do.
NWA is a good time. I'm getting more and more hooked on it. I don't like the writing in WWE as much.
Oh, me neither, so I get it. Understand.
If I watch a wrestling program, I want wrestling.
Yeah.
Not backstage segments and advertisements.
And sponsorships on tables.
Yeah. I miss the old school thing, and NWA kind of fills that void for me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I love that they're in Florida so much, doing so much of the recording here.
Literally, I would say that NWA's main headquarters right now is Tampa. Like, that's where they are the most.
They sell out every time they come here, and when I saw the seminar thing yesterday, I was like, that's fantastic. There's so much talent in Florida. Like,
yeah. Honestly, and like I'll give a little bit of like insight or like insider info. Honestly, there wasn't as many like Florida specific independent talent there as I thought there would be. There was Tiny Tenali, the Suplex Queen, shout out her, Jake Powers, I know Jake Powers, and then myself and maybe like one or two other people, but majority of them were NWA centered talent or people who have like been doing things with NWA for a little bit. So it was nice though. I mean, everyone was very kind, very sweet. Management was great, so definitely an experience I would recommend if they are to do something. And being a part of history, being a part of the first ever NWA's training seminar is cool.
Oh, is this the first one?
Ever.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea until I got there. They're like, yeah, it's our first time doing this. I was like, wait, I'm a part of history? That's cool.
That is awesome. Was it just like get in the ring, show us what you can do, or was it we're going to teach you stuff, or?
It was a mixture of both. We started with just basic stuff, like, you know, make sure you can actually run the ropes right. And then after that, we slowly went into like different sections and different groups, and then we ended with matches. And so, honestly, the way I looked at it personally was they were evaluating basically the 3 stages of wrestling. So like your basics, then your character and your promo skills, and then actually putting it into a match. Especially for a TV product because they're training people to get ready, possibly to be on Power at some point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think overall it was a good experience. Again, shout out NWA for doing something so different and so kind. And hey, next time there's a training seminar, definitely will be there.
They're building something special, brick by brick.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know if you knew, Mike Mondo has a school with Brian Idol and Natalia Markova.
Oh, wow, where?
It's Clearwater, St. Pete area. FTW is their home brand, where a lot of their guys are coming up from. Jake Cross and some of those guys.
Okay. Because like the school I'm like in and out of doing stuff right now is Death Fruit Dojo out in Tampa with Chris Silvio, and good experience, very nice people. Had the opportunity to work with some of their talent. Their talent's like honestly out of this world.
Florida in general is just packed with so much talent. Like, I didn't know before I got into this, there's a wrestling company in like every town.
Pretty much, yeah.
And they're all fantastic. Like I haven't been to a show yet that was like,
yeah, shout out terrible.
Time.
Yeah. Because personally, like even like my hometown area, like Brooksville, Spring Hill, that area, I didn't even know there were 2 promotions in there, and now I've worked 2 promotions there. I'm just like, I've been in this town for so long. Where maybe it's just because I've gotten into the actual industry itself instead of just being an onlooker. But like, I wish these shows would have been popping up a couple years ago. It
seems like the algorithm, like once you tap into it, it's like there's 14 events today. It's like, well, where was this last week? I was doing nothing last week.
Yeah, I mean, even like today, I'm doing double duty because I'm heading out to Castleberry to go wrestle Lemuria and do my thing at CCP Podcasting's Next Level. So I have that going on. Plus, I'm doing here, which I'm definitely gonna win my match here today. And so, having the utmost confidence, maybe a little bit of an ego from being at the NWA seminar, but I think I'm on the right track to doing what I gotta do.
Sounds like it. It's my mind just went blank, and that's kind of embarrassing. I had a question. I got like the first 2 words. It's like gone.
I get that.
So we talked about where you started, where you've trained at. Is NWA your immediate future, or are you trying to go beyond that, or just taking whatever's available?
I'm in the building phase of kind of my wrestling career, to where, I've made my introduction, I've made my arrival, but now this is me really cementing who I am across the state and in other places. And so for personally, I would love absolutely to do stuff with the NWA, but right now my main goal is just trying to build myself up more and more, because if I get the opportunity to do an NWA or a WWE tryout or an AEW look, the last thing I'm trying to do is not be ready for those opportunities. Right? So my immediate future is getting better day by day.
And how do you find, what is the preparation for something like that? Did you go into it nervous, or screw those guys, I'm going to nail this?
Personally, and maybe you wouldn't see just because of the eye and the whole spooky thing going on, but personally, in my personal life, I can be a little bit anxious about a lot of things. And so even yesterday, I was just standing there, literally just say I'm right here, and then Trevor Murdoch's right here, just standing a few feet away from someone I've been watching for God knows how long. I was a little nervous. I was shaking a little bit. I can't lie, just standing there. It's a little unnerving, but once you embrace those unnerves and kind of be like, hey, I'm here for a reason, then all those worries go away, and then you just lock into doing what you love doing. And so that's kind of what I do. And personally, when it comes to matches and even taking opportunities, my main help right now has always been music and writing, because I write comic books on the side too.
Oh, nice.
And so writing those things and kind of clearing my mind for other things definitely gets me into a better spot mentally. And I would say that's my main preparation. Obviously, gym stuff, it's kind of a necessity. You got to be a big boy for wrestling. And so, I would say gym stuff, and then music is definitely helping me a lot, preparation-wise.
Did you make your own entrance music?
I did not. My entrance song is "You" by Radiohead, actually, because I love the vibe of the band, and I feel like it fit my character a lot. Because my character is kind of I'm an emo guy, acting as more than an emo guy, acting spooky. And so, for me, I was I kind of want to go with a older, early 90s or late 90s into the 2000s era. So I was Radiohead's definitely up there.
So do you have any dream opponents?
Dream opponents right now, independent-wise, no avail. Independent-wise, Elias Roman. Independent-wise, I fought him a lot, but I want to fight Jake Powers again because I'm trying to win. And then corporate-wise, my shout-out opponents would definitely be Konosuke Takeshita and Dragon Lee. I want to fight Dragon Lee so bad.
He is so underrated.
He's absolutely underrated, and the fact that his Mania entrance wasn't even aired kind of frustrated me as a Dragon Lee guy.
It was such a cool entrance too.
Yeah, he had the giant dragon wings. I was like, dude, why are you not showcasing?
And we got a Snickers commercial.
Yeah, I love Snickers. Snickers satisfies. No, bro, it's a WrestleMania match. You got to treat it like a WrestleMania match. Give
TKO, man. Do better. Do better.
Do better, guys.
I didn't know until the day after I saw it on Instagram. It's where was this?
Yes, I was just, oh my god, he has Dragon Lee. He's Dragon Lee with dragon wings. That's awesome.
And they looked fantastic.
And then cut it.
That's
wow.
I think 3 people were in the ring when we got there.
Yeah.
And it's
I was like, why are they doing jobber entrances at WrestleMania in a ladder match?
Especially when every other WrestleMania entrance was the bigger than life thing. And it's we'll skip these 3.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
I don't want to badmouth the product because I love the product, but I hate aspects of the product.
I completely understand that. Because as consumers and fans ourselves, even with me being in the industry, the most important thing is having an enjoyment, doing what you're doing, and watching all the other people going around. Because having that connection with the product itself is what makes you want to get better to get to that level. So if there's a product or there's elements of a product that you're not a fan of, that's fine.
Yeah. There's so many different things about pro wrestling. Even as the performers, you can be amazing in the ring, but awful on the mic. Mm-hmm. If you're awesome on the mic and awful in the ring, you still get a career.
Yeah.
You can have the physical gifts. You can look like Brock, or you can look like Ray.
Yep.
Kevin Owens is shaped like me.
And that man can go in the ring, and he's amazing on the mic. So yeah. I love Kevin Owens.
I love the diversity of it all, and you don't have to be the old school '80s where everyone's
Yeah.
4 feet wide and 300 pounds.
And loaded with steroids.
It's something I've learned or gotten into recently is just the brotherhood of it all. Like being in some of the locker rooms, meeting people before the show, after the show. Pro wrestlers seem to take care of pro wrestlers. It's meeting everyone, shaking hands, and it seems like you guys all look out for each other. You want the best for each other, and I help you. We have a good match. That match gets shared. Maybe the right person sees it, and things blow up from there.
Honestly, I'll mention personally, the brotherhood of it all has gotten me into some crazy places. Like my friend Jake Powers, he was actually the one who was like, "Dude, the NWA is having a seminar. We need to go." Because it was Race Allen was the reason why I took a hiatus between 2024 and 2025 because I had some personal stuff going on, including like the birth of my daughter and a couple other things. And so that freaking March, I was like, oh, well, maybe when I'm like 25, 26, I'll have the opportunity, step in the ring again when I have like financially fixed myself and I can go back into training. And then Race Allen shoots me a call. He's like, hey, Brick City Entertainment's looking for people, and we need someone for a show next weekend. I was like, bet, let me show what I can do. And it felt like I never left. And so I love the fact that my brothers believed in me. Even my close friends, I have like a little group called the Outer Square. It's me and my 3 best friends, Matthew, Xavier, and Justin. 3 of the closest people I've ever met in my entire life, and we do so much for each other. Like, Xavier's an amateur fighter, Justin's a YouTube streamer, and Matthew's a mangaka or comic artist. And so, like, we're all doing such interesting things, and we all have such interesting gifts, and even that brotherhood helps me push myself a lot, wrestling-wise.
And you're a comic writer, and he's an artist?
Yes. We kind of mix both. So with the mangaka role, you kind of do both, and so we both have our own separate concepts and stories that we're both working on separately. But if there's elements, because like, say there's a character that I really liked in his story that he's planning on killing, I was like, oh, okay, bet. So I had to kill someone on my side too. I was like, listen, I have to split off the hatred, because you can't kill someone I like and then someone you really like, I just keep them there. That doesn't make any sense. So we push each other a lot, and yeah. Brotherhood is actually one of the biggest aspects, I would say, of just my life in general. Because I have so many good people around me, and I'm appreciative of literally each and every soul that I've connected with.
Well, it's similar. I'm also a comic fan. I've noticed in that world there's a lot of brotherhood too, especially between writers and artists, because they both need each other.
Yeah.
And typically can't do each other's work.
Yeah. I would say, I'm going to ask, because you're a comic fan, what's your thoughts on Absolute Batman right now?
I stopped reading modern comics at Death of Wolverine, and I've gone back into Silver Bronze Age stories that I missed, like George Perez's work, phenomenal.
Yes.
I didn't grow up with him so much, but his old school stuff is... I missed a lot of... Read The Long Halloween kind of recently. I missed that growing up.
One of the best comic storylines.
Death of the Family, Death in the Family, like... So I'm a Wolverine junkie. When they killed him, I was so pissed off. It kind of ruined a lot of my love for the industry.
I get that.
And when they brought him back, it didn't rekindle it.
I feel like the issue with comics is it's such a centralized idea to have. Like, it's such a big trope that, oh, if you kill off a character, they'll be back in, like, maybe at max 5 issues. I'm like, I don't like that mentality, because it takes away from the actual stakes of their death itself.
Yeah.
Because if, say, Superman dies in an issue, the entirety of the Death of Superman thing, and then he's back like 2 issues later in a different storyline. Like, that's crazy to me.
Death of Superman is where I started in comics, but the first book I picked up was the book he died in. Second book I picked up was the Batman had his back broken in. So as a kid, I'm like, well, Superman sucks, he's dead. Batman sucks, he's broken.
Yeah.
And I jumped to Marvel, and like Jim Lee had the X-Men comics rebooted and got into those. I love a good death in comics, because they can be like, just take the heart out of you.
Like, even like a big example that would be like Gwen Stacy. She stayed dead for decades, and they just brought her back like last year.
Yeah.
I was like, that just doesn't work for me, because if you have a death that as impactful as that's stuck for so long, same thing with Uncle Ben. I'm like, Uncle Ben is for me the most impactful death in comics, and to have him just randomly come back because you're just like, oh, we're losing readership or we need to change things up. I just don't think that's acceptable for a reason to do something like that.
They keep rebooting things and trying to backlog. Like, we'll bring in. I love Miles Morales. He's fantastic Spider-Man, but the Ultimate Universe brought back so much of old Peter Parker stuff. It's like, it's been 60 years. Like, you can't just bring it back. We brought a story, so we got to bring these couples back and retell those stories.
It's just crazy to me. Personal series that I've been reading or would recommend. Manga-wise, I've been reading One Punch Man. Extremely funny and amazing art in the story. And then I'll also say the other one would be My Hero Academia is another good one. It's just stylized Japanese superheroes, but like All Might's very similar to like a Captain America, just a lot of pride and trying to do whatever he can to protect the people around him. And then I've also been rereading Invincible, the Image comic.
That was fantastic.
And yeah, because I've been pairing the comic with the show, and so I've been going back and forth. I'm just like, oh my fucking god,
There's
it's crazy.
like panel for panel in some scenes.
Yeah, it's genuinely amazing.
That's
another comic series I'm trying to start in the near future is I want to go back and read Spawn. Just go through the entirety of it.
It's rough early on.
Yeah, I've heard like early on it's like it's okay, but then like pretty much like going into the middle part of the story, like the second act is where it gets more interesting.
I gave up around issue 40 and never went back, but I was also 12, 13.
Yeah.
So my mental part wasn't there. Like I didn't know what they were doing with the character. I've heard it got really, really good later on. Have you read Lock and Key?
What?
Lock and Key?
No, unfortunately not.
Fantastic. Stephen King's son is the writer.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a mini series. There's I think 4 or 5 books, maybe 35 comics in total, but they're all collections at this point.
Okay.
Netflix did a show that was pretty solid. It didn't get picked up for season 2, I don't think, but
Damn. Netflix has a habit of doing that. I actually just heard because I know the boys' comics are awful, but the show's really good.
Great.
They just canceled Gen V actually, from what I heard. The side story. I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. Didn't really give them time to build onto more things, but I guess it just kind of is what it is.
It's too much. It's either they cater to the fans or they cater to the masses, and if the masses don't buy it and the fans don't, if you cater to the fans, we'll get behind it, we'll support it, but the masses might not want it. Cater to the masses, the fans don't like it. If they lose interest, then you lose your show.
Yeah, it's like Invincible. People love the storyline, people love the characters, but then they're just like, oh, but the animation. But then the people are like, oh, the animation's fine, but then the story blankety blank. I'm just like, personally, I've always been an in the middle person. Because listen, I can't say, oh my god, I need incredible animation, dude. I used to watch like Phineas and Ferb and SpongeBob. Like, why would I care about animation? It's not one of my priorities. And like even like the older like Batman the Animated Series, incredible series, great characters, but the art's okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be like super stylized art to be good or interesting to me.
To me, as long as I don't hate the art, if every page I turn, it's like I hate this, I'll lose the story. I hate to say it, like some of Frank Miller's work. Ooh. It looks like he drew it with his foot.
Did you ever see like it's that Wolverine cover? I think she's just like this. I'm like, oh my god, what is that?
The new one where like
it looks
like bring your kid to work day.
Like, yeah. It's like a Neanderthal. Like, what did you do to Logan?
It's that stuff. I love his work. He's an amazing writer. He used to be an amazing artist. Like I've read his old Batman books. They were great.
Maybe he just got comfortable or simplistic or whatever. I don't
swear
really
he draws with his feet now. Like it just.
Let me try this.
As a collector, he's charging $1,000 for a sketch, and I can't name the character.
Oh.
I've seen Electro with 5 O'Clock Shadow.
No, that's
like you
not
drew Punisher.
right.
It's like, oh wait, wrong person. I'll just put boobs here.
Look like Hulk. It's actually Emma Frost. It's like how? But yeah, I get what you mean.
Do you know Axe Clover at all? Have you heard of him?
Oh, Axe Clover? Actually, I met him at AOW Reindeer Games, actually. And we had a conversation because I found out he was also trained by Dory.
We had a talk last night. He has a comic he wants to put out and needs writers and artists.
Hey, Axe Clover, if you see this, please contact Donovan Rosé at Devilish Kid Rose on Instagram, on Facebook, on pretty much anything. I love comic books, and I can make your story happen. Just holler at your boy.
We talked last night. He's going to be on the show in June.
Nice.
So it just struck me. It's like, you know all the stuff he's looking for. Like that's.
Yeah, because my concept that I'm working on right now is it's called Nova One, and it's a very stylized, like manga-style comic book. And essentially, it follows a Puerto Rican girl named Carmen, and her goal isn't just because I'm not a big fan of like, oh, I need to get stronger, I need to be the king or whatever.
It's raining here in the theater. We're waiting on in the evening. We're waiting on a few of the guys. We got the ring set. There is some killer food inside, as well as some killer drinks from these ladies at the bar. Make sure to tip your bartenders tonight. We got some crazy matches for the annual Rex Bacchus Tribute Show. The 8 Deadly Sin Sideshow. We'll be taking on the child at the 8 Day Sideshow. Evil Savant, as well as your Anchor Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion to No Limit, Jay Rivera, and Digital Destroyers in the house. We want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Big Doug's Barbershop, at close to Raw, Shut Up and Swing, and right here in the Sunshine State of Florida, the best pizza in holiday, Baby Huey's. We can start everything for us in just a minute.
Okay, cool.
All right, so we'll cut that part out.
Yeah. But with Nova One, my entire thing is basically just, I guess it's weaponizing or like making connection action is the best way to describe it, because basically the story revolves around like a multiversal crew, and it's led by my tritagonist, Thomas Sentinel. Great guy, and his goal is, within this world there are things called Oblivion Points, which are basically, there's too much darkness coming into like a universe's, I guess, atmosphere, and it's interfering with the way that the planets operate and the way that like the energy is presented within the world. And so if an Oblivion Point lives for too long, it can essentially just black hole the world, to be honest.
All right.
And so he's like, dang, we should probably stop this. And so she's a high schooler. She's like, damn, I'm trying to really find out what I want to do after high school. And then she goes to the Kennedy Space Center, just wandering around, on a field trip, and she encounters kind of like their hidden base. And one of the characters, he's a stickler, he's kind of an asshole named Maddox. He's like, hey, what the hell are you doing in here? And so they kind of go back and forth. She knocks into a portal, and then out of this portal, a giant dragon starts rampaging through Kennedy Space Center. And so they have to go catch him, but then when they try to catch him, they have this machine that's shooting a beam, and the energy beam is, contacting the dragon, but it's not quite enough, so it's pushing through. She jumps in front of the beam and pushes the dragon through the portal. And so now this random girl just got hit with a blast of sun and moon energy. And it doesn't kill her, somehow. But she becomes what in this world is called an astromancer. And an astromancer is someone who has a personal connection with like space soul or celestial energy. And so now Carmen joins this crew with Maddox, Sentinel, and a bunch of other people. I'll tell you about the interesting characters in the crew. He's my personal favorite. His name is Wallace, but he's called the Wasp Wizard by the crew. And pretty much he is a magician who was famous for a long time, but he kind of fell off after a while. And so he kind of relies on alcohol and, just like jokes to kind of get through himself. And so at the beginning of the second part of the story, he just stows away on their ship, and then boom, he's just on the team. So now this drunken magician's going to space. I was just like, it's just such a funny concept, and I want to do something different, because the different or like characters that I can connect with personally are the ones that stick with me the most in comics. And so like I was like, hey, this will make an interesting concept for a comic, and so I'm kind of doing some cool things and making sure that my story overall has the pacing I want it to. 'Cause one thing I also don't like are comic runs or manga runs overstaying their welcome.
Yeah.
And so like for me, my maximum chapter count for Nova 1 is 190 chapters. That's it. I'm not going above 200. I can't. It gives me a couple years to deal with all the characters, really flesh out all the stories. But if I get past 190, then I'm just like, okay, I'm staying too long. This is doing too much. I don't want to do that. I want to have a concise, very nice, and put together story. So, yeah, it's something I've been working on for, I want to say about a year now. I've been working on Nova 1, and so it's been a blast. But, yeah, comic books are one of those things that I've loved since I was a child. I got into it because my dad was interested and tried to get me into, like, a lot of, like, early DC comics, like a lot of like the early like Justice League and like the JLA kind of storylines. And then eventually he put me on to Civil War, which was coming out at the time. And I was like, damn, this is really fucking cool.
Civil War is great. That's a good starting point.
And then I gone back and on my own, I've been able to go back and read things like the Secret Invasion, like the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, like things like that. And even like on the DC side, like recently Absolute Batman's he's been like my main modern like DC thing, but like I'll say even like Long Halloween, freaking The Killing Joke is one of my favorite comic books of all time. And so like, yeah, I've had the opportunity to really go through and read some very interesting things, and comic books have kind of been my lifeblood. I'm such a big superhero fan, so.
So your father got you into two addictions.
Yeah, my father was a very interesting dude. He was a very like stubborn but very kind person, and so honestly had so many niches. Like he would play like, he knew how to like mod video game consoles. He knew how to like direct and like do like video production. So he's taught me video editing and production. He's got me into wrestling. He's gotten me into comic books. He's got me into comic book movies. He's got me into movies itself, TV shows. vast majority of my niches and the things that I'm interested in, I've gotten from my dad. Even like my mom is like a big like music person, like big Michael Jackson fan, and so like I'm literally Thursday gonna go take her to see the new Michael movie, and she's got me into that, and she kind of also amplifies my love for like comic books because she loves comic books as well, especially Marvel, big Marvel girl. So yeah, my parents are very, very awesome people, and I appreciate them getting me into interesting things because if not, my life would be kind of boring.
That's really cool to hear. Like, I grew up I'm 45. Comics were not cool when I was growing up.
Yeah, oh yeah. Even like during my era of growing up, like, especially manga was seen as such a niche thing. It's just like, oh, why are you reading manga for?
Yeah. I love the generations now come up as like, if you don't know who Thanos is, you're the weird one.
Yeah.
Whereas in my days, I was the weird one. Like, I was one of probably 2 people in my school that knew who Thanos was, who Steve Rogers was, all that stuff. Like, I love seeing kind of nerd culture coming up and being the cool thing now. It's refreshing as a society.
Yeah. I've been like, even like for me as a person of color, one big thing I face is like, for whatever reason, a lot of people of color think that it's a weird thing to listen to like different genres of music. But like metal music, I love rock music. One of my favorite bands is freaking like Guns N' Roses. And my dad and my mom both got me into those things. They're like, don't stay within someone else's boundaries.
Yeah.
Whatever someone else thinks about you isn't truth. It's what you think about yourself. It's like rock music, indie rock. Not a lot of country music, but I have like maybe 1 or 2 songs that I generally like. Like some techno or EDM stuff. Like I just kind of go around genres because I feel like as a person, the last thing that you can do is put constraints on yourself on what you're interested in. You know, like music and wrestling and sports as well is another big thing I'm into. Those are things that will keep you going. Those are the things that fuel your life and your life force. And so I feel like the last thing that you should do is put restraints on those kind of things.
That's whatever speaks to you, speaks to you. Like,
Yeah.
I think everyone in the world has music in common. We all love music.
Yeah.
But what you like and what I like doesn't separate us. It unites us. Like, it makes you feel a certain way. Wrestling makes you feel a certain way. Comics make you feel a certain way. Movies make you feel a certain way. Like, instead of saying you're stupid for liking that, like, no, like we like the same genre, we just don't like the same stuff.
Yeah. It's also like people need to kind of give themselves the chance to like new things as well.
Yeah.
It's like, so like, for example, Invincible, I had seen things about it, but I was like, I don't know. But my friend Xavier was like, hey, you should really sit down and like, we watched the first episode together. I was like, this is cool, This is cool, normal stuff. And then the ending of the first episode happens where Omni-Man slaughters the Guardians of the Globe. I genuinely had my jaw like to the floor. I was like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
He just sat here and destroyed basically the Avengers of the planet. And I was like, why did he do that for?
In the comics, it's like 2 panels too. He does
I
it
know!
instantly.
It's so lame! Like, there are a lot of changes in the comics that I'm not the biggest fan of, but in the TV version of it, they've adjusted some things. Like, even like I've seen like Amber's character in the comics, she kind of sucks. She's just kind of there, just a placeholder. But like in the story, even though a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of hers, she was given a story and like her own like path as a character before Mark eventually gets with Eve. And so,
that's a friend put me onto that one too, and it was like, all right, another stupid superhero book, and you get one book into it, it's like, this is different.
yeah.
Like Walking Dead was like that. Also Robert Kirkman.
Yeah, Robert Kirkman is one of my biggest inspirations for storytelling because he's so unique at what he does. And the fact that, for a time, he was writing both Invincible and The Walking Dead at the same time. And I feel like that's crazy to me.
Yeah. It's every book I've read of his has, you can tell it's his baby, but they're all different. There's always a character you can fall in love with and root for, and he's always going to kill him on you.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Like I said, it's what makes you feel how you feel. Like, it's if you connect with it and you get hit in the gut that hard, great. Like, it sucks for you in that moment, but having that connection with something makes the world a better place, I think. Like,
I agree. Being unique and being different from others, but letting you and whoever you're around bond over that differentiation makes everything so much funner. It makes the world feel so much brighter instead of just being to yourself and being like, oh, I'm the only person who likes this. If there are people who like the same thing as you do, it's a great opportunity for you to just bond over something different and something new. Especially like music, especially like pop culture things, like, again, comic books, movies. Like, I've met people who are like, oh, I'm not the biggest fan of that. And then I put like the term like putting them on. Like, I love doing that. Like, to a friend in the past, I was like, hey, you should definitely watch Invincible. And they were like, oh, well, I'll give it a try. And now they love Invincible. And so, like, being able to have that experience of making someone be like, hey, this is different, but it's okay with that differentiation. It's okay to like a certain kind of thing, but being able to bond over that thing, it's just a really cool concept, and I feel like more people should do it.
That's like, we're so divided as a world and as a nation, but if we just share our cultures, our likes, our dislikes, maybe not dislikes, but even if it's like simple things as food.
Yeah.
Everyone loves tacos.
Yeah, tacos and pizza.
If we didn't share that stuff however many decades ago, we'd have that divide too. Like, it'd be of those Italians and their cheesy bread or whatever you want to call it. Like,
it's crazy.
I feel like the world would be a lot better if we just kind of share everything we have instead of.
Yeah, and even again, that's why my comic, I just want to highlight the importance of accountability and the importance of understanding other people, sharing your thoughts, sharing how you feel, because mental health, I feel like the world's also kind of in a mental health crisis to where not a lot of people prioritize what they have going on. Yeah. And I want to write a story just being like, hey, it's okay to talk about those things. Those are what makes you human.
It's been great seeing celebrities finally coming out with it. Like, Rhea Ripley just announced last week she has an eating disorder. And it's ballsy to come out and say something like that, but it's great. Hopefully that helps other people, because I know she has millions of fans worldwide, to see that she's going through some shit.
Yeah, just some transparency. Like, even like yesterday at the seminar, I think so highly like Mike Mondo and Tom Latimer. Incredible wrestlers, great talent. And so, like, they were filming, I think, some promo vignettes or something going on, and I think one of them, maybe if not both of them, stuttered over something. And I was like, this is a top-level wrestler, but it also highlighted the fact that even they make mistakes too. It makes me feel like, damn, I'm not doing as bad as I think I am.
Totally random question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the Spirit Squad?
Yes.
Did you know Mike Mondo was Mikey from the Spirit Squad?
That's Mikey?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I had no idea. That's crazy. Cause I know Kenny. Obviously, Kenny Dykstra is the big one, and then Nikki, Dolph Ziggler. I didn't know that was Mikey.
Yeah, blew my mind.
That makes a lot of sense.
Like, Mike Mondo would rip Mikey in half.
Oh, it's like that. It's like that. One of the later Infinity stories where like Thanos rips Iron Man in half. Like, yeah, that's what Mike would do. I had no idea that was Mike Mondo. Gee, that's fascinating though. Also,
I lost track of where other than Dolph being
and then I remember Kenny Dykstra because of SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. He was just on the roster. I like the song.
Yeah. I did a little bit of work, promo work for MTW. One of his students mentioned, like, called him Mikey. It's weird things.
Yeah.
I went home and Googled it.
That's really cool detail though. I like that.
I'm trying to wrap it up. I've had you. Wrestling's all about those big moments. What is your favorite moment in wrestling? Something you've done or something that motivated you?
Something I've done that really motivated me was honestly was the match against someone who's here, Proxy Delgado. And fortunately, we had a fallout, and I was just like, damn, that sucks. You finish your match, but then they're like, hey, well then you won't be able to do double duty. No one called up, but then I was just like, yeah, I'll do it. And my first match against one of my buds, Wildfire Marketing School guy, had a good match, and then it went immediately to the second match. And that second match is still one of my favorite matches I've ever had. So like having that moment of being praised for someone who's like, listen, it's wrestling. That's what I'm here to do. If I have to do a 30-minute Iron Man match, whatever I gotta do, I like. And like again, even like today, I'm doing double duty. I'm freaking going here to drive 2 hours in Orlando to wrestle again. So I like those moments where it's like someone recognizes how much you want this, I would say. And then just wrestling in general moments, I would say the Hardy Boys coming back at WrestleMania 33. Because my brother was in the bathroom. And he was like, hey, he joked, hey, if the Hardys come back, let me know. He closed the door. And so, like, all the things happen, I'm like, oh, New Day's in the back, and then I hear, like, oh my god.
Talent, security, referees, so back at this time. God, please have all Anchor Pro Wrestling security, management, talent, referees, come back at this time.
You can find me on Instagram at Devilish Kid Rhodes, or on Facebook as, I think it's also Devilish Kid Rhodes, but that's YouTube channel is also Donovan Rosé with Oscar for the E. And yeah, I'm very active on the Puerto scene, so if you have any questions or want to have another conversation, you know where to find me.